lords of Waterdeep have gathered to purge our city of an ancient evil. Give a call to the heroes of the land, and let us choose our champions.
Master! They think they have found a solution!
We commission you to find the nature of this evil and destroy it if you are able. Prepare for the dangerous journey. Begin your search below the city.
We have them! Their fate is sealed.
Yes, hello boys and girls. Welcome to my video for Eye of the Beholder. This is in fact a trilogy, and this is the first game, which is just Eye of the Beholder. Then we have of course Eye of the Beholder 2, The Legend of Darkmoon, which is in my humble opinion the best installment of the series. And Eye of the Beholder 3, Assault on Myth Drannor. And well, I am about to show you these games. Of course, you can build your own party. I have already built mine before the start of this video to speed things up a little. So here it is, and I also went through the trouble of setting the spells all right. My personal favorite party is a paladin, a thief, which I mostly also combine with a fighter, a clerk, and a mage. Well, let's just take some rocks with me. That's just clicking on them and putting them into my inventory. Each character has his or her own knapsack. HP is, of course, an important thing. Every time you get hit by the enemy, it goes down. When it goes below 0, you will get unconscious. When it reaches -10, you're dead. Food is important. When it runs out, you will die of starvation. The arrow quiver is only important if you plan to use a bow. But you can put all the arrows in there. This is your general knapsack. This is of course the stuff, your equipment. I am also limited. The mage cannot carry heavy weapons. They can only carry daggers or staffs. The clerk can, unless combined with fighter, only carry weapons that may not cut you open. I often call that blood weapons. God doesn't like blood. That's the idea behind all that. And wizards are of course pretty weak. Well, I start with all characters equipped with leather armor, except for the mage, who cannot wear anything heavier than a robe or a cloak. Lockpicks are your best friend when you have a thief. And these halfling bones belong to Todd Uphill. When I reach the dwarf priest, he can resurrect him, and then I can add him to my party if I like. Of course, the name Todd Uphill is a nod to Lord of the Rings, to the name that Frodo assumes when he is trying under a guise to get into the Prancing Pony Inn in the city of Bree, where he calls himself Underhill. Well, let's flip the switch and the door will open. I can attack by pressing the weapons with the right mouse button. If I use the left, then it will just work as a disarming, which is of course not what we want. Let's see what's behind this door. The enemy I just defeated was just a kobold that is basically in the realm of Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition, and this is an official Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition game. About the lowest kind of enemies you can meet, hardly able to inflict any serious damage. Still, now I keep those daggers as keys, as I will need them soon. Yes, daggers as keys. Well, food packages. You got two kinds of food packages, rations and iron rations. The iron rations are a bit stronger than regular rations. That's ooh, I need a bit of weight, huh? That doesn't work with all pressure plates, but hey, this one it works. Now I must admit, there is a little trick in this game that makes you able to skip more than half of it, and I actually accidentally found it instead of the official way to go. Yeah, that's Eye of the Beholder 1 is more meant to be a bit more open world, something that they did see as not the best move. So they basically went away from that in later installments. Yeah, Mage Scroll, that is always interesting if you find one. If you do Scribe Scroll, well, as Merlin is my only mage at this moment, he's the only one who can do that. You saw the Mage Scroll of Armor, so Armor is now listed here, since I don't have that spell in my spellbook yet. When I click it, it will be added to my spellbook, so I can add it as a spell. When I do Memorize Spell, I can select the spells I want to use in combat. I can only take a limited number of spells with me. It's not like most RPG games that I have a mana pool. I can just memorize a certain number of spells. And then I must rest to actually study them. And if I study Magic Missile 3 times, then I can use 3 times cast the Magic Missile spell without resting. You can basically rest anywhere, but be careful. The monsters move around and they can attack me while I'm resting, and that will always interrupt the rest. Giant leeches. And yeah, this is the end of the first floor already. However, if I try to go to the stairs, the door will close. What to do about it? Well, that's easy. Just throw a rock. Now the door will close, but if I open it now, the pressure plate is already weighted, so it won't trigger the door anymore. How convenient. Yeah, you just have to think about such things, huh? Well, let's check out the next floor, shall we? Well, I can just use this stairway and then I will go back to the first floor. Mostly you can always go back to floors you've already been before, although that is not entirely true. There are a few points of no return in this game. When it comes to keys, I now give this one to my clerk, Plesta. I do recommend to reserve one person's knapsack for keys. I now chose my cleric, but you can basically pick any character. Look at my compass. You may see that I may have turned without a warning. There are more places where that can happen. This is an Orc Rune of Passage. Now it doesn't really matter if I give this scroll to my mage in order to be able to scribe it. It's just that I already have the shield spell in my spellbook that I can't scribe it, not because I gave it to Edric. This is something that I really find annoying about Eye of the Beholder 1. Plesta uses the power to turn undead. As a priest, she can do that. Whenever I encounter an undead creature, the cleric will automatically use the turn undead ability, which is very freaking annoying. In Eye of the Beholder 2 and 3, they actually replaced that with a spell, but one you don't have to pray for. And which you also don't have to rest for, but which will always be available. Nice arrows to put in my quiver. Oh, food, food, food! Well, let's see. Now, not all walls that you can just walk through are marked like that. There are many which are not marked. And then you will have to find it out on your own, and then it basically counts as a secret passage. Oh, a sinkhole. How cool. The pressure plate is on the other side. However, you can throw stuff. It's not like Lands of Lore, where you can actually gain experience for a rogue by throwing things. That won't happen in Eye of the Beholder. One Eye has gained a level of experience. And well, another door with a key. Now you can try to pick the lock with your lockpicks if you are lucky. You may even get the door open. However, there is also something as a critical miss. Something that you won't find in many modern RPGs. But a critical miss means that something goes wrong and then really goes wrong. And in the case of this game, a critical miss on using the lockpicks will mean that the lockpicks will break. Only the strong shall pass. Ooh, that's quite a statement. The door is stuck. Well, if I just click it, I can force it open, but I must admit I just modified the stats in the character creation menu instead of just rolling. And when your strength is high, you can get that door open easily. When you are weaker, then it may take several tries. Basically, it's just rolling a d20 die, in other words a 20-sided die. And if the number rolled is lower than your strength value, then you are successful and then the door opens. That's the idea. Well, let's see. A potion. Without any kind of label, so we don't know what it does. And an axe. Well, it's a good idea to already save up at least 2 axes, as you will need them in Eye of the Beholder 3 and you can transfer your parties. Really odd to take something like that in mind already in the first installment, but hey, you will thank me later for noting that. Yeah, more rations, a potion of giant strength and a silver key. For who knows what purpose. This slimy, smelly drain pipes reveals nothing. Okay, now this passage was closed before, remember? The stone dagger is actually a kind of key, and how it works precisely is something that I will explain later. Yeah, I already mentioned the 20-sided die. You have to remember, Dungeons and Dragons is actually a role play meant to be played with one person acting as a dungeon master. A special quest, that is, I will get back to the game explanation later. Nearly all floors have a kind of special quest, a secret that if you manage to do this, in this case open all the dagger locks, and then you may get some extra bonus items. Always nice to know, huh? Well, anyway, it was meant to be played with friends at a table and one player, the game leader, would then act as the dungeon master. He creates the world and the story, and basically you play one of the characters in that story. And many things, like outcomes of battles, are decided with dice. The D2, yeah, two-sided die. Most people just use a coin for that. The D3, which is just a six-sided die, but then only with the numbers 1, 2, and 3 on them. The D4, the four-sided die, a pyramid-shaped die with the numbers 1 till 4. The classical D6, the six-sided die. Only the eyes of the die have then been replaced by numbers on an official D&D die. The D8. And then we have the D10. That's a bit of a unique one. That has the numbers 0 till 9. Making it till 10 sides, as side 0 is also a die. It's also a side. And they exist in two forms. It is with the numbers 0 to 9, but also with the numbers 0 to 9 all multiplied by 10. So 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 20, 30, 40, etc. And together with a regular D10, they form the D100. In other words, the 100-sided die. They are mostly used for rolling percentages. What do we have more? The D12 and the D20. And the D20 is one of the most common ones. And you don't see those dice in this game, but the game actually rolls them for whatever it is in a normal situation. When you were playing this with a Dungeon Master, the dice would be rolled. Well, I am now standing in a kind of elevator. And yeah, this is the entry level. When I press the button, the door will close, safety measures in an elevator. Then I press it again, and then the room seems to move. After all, this is an elevator. And now I am at the correction facility. Well, what do we have to expect there? Well, it's just a kind of prison. So these are all jail cells containing prisoners who have been dead a pretty long time by now. So there's not much left of them except their living corpses. Okay, I got a bow. Yeah, I have now a sword in my left hand. Only short swords can be all held in the left hand. Long swords are not. And of course, when I put my bow in, you can see that my left hand is disabled. After all, a bow requires two hands to use. One to hold the bow itself and one to pull the string behind so you can fire the arrow. That's of course a bit of plain logic. And two-handed swords are to be held with two hands because they are too big to handle normally. And there I have a second axe. A mage scroll of invisibility. Well, I don't have it yet, so... And, well, always a good idea to rest every now and then. All characters are fully rested. How nice. Yeah, I can take the third axe for whatever need. Yeah, I already have more helmets than I can actually use for, yeah, another axe. Okay. There's another kind of secret passage. Let's see, that was... I really should take a look which cell it was. Yeah, this one. Here you see one tile brighter than the others. Press it and hey! Now this is just the floor below that sinkhole puzzle that I was in before, so it's not really that much. That high. Well, and where will the elevator take me to next? The death section. And that is actually the important section, as there is a key hidden in there. Well, you can only force doors when they are a tiny bit open. And you find them a lot in the starting section of the first Eye of the Beholder game. Well, that was the key I was looking for. In Eye of the Beholder 2 you will find less of those kinds of doors. And that will take me back to the entry level. And in Eye of the Beholder 3 they've even become non-existent. Hard thing to do, throwing rocks. Always watch out with pulling switches, you never know what can happen. Yes, switches can also trigger traps. Traps have always been a bit of a nice thing that Dungeon Masters can throw at you in a roleplay campaign. I should know, I've been a Dungeon Master myself in a pretty long campaign. I don't know if I was really a good one. But I can still take pride that I could get my players into a panic whenever a beautiful woman with a braid showed up. Or when someone was smoking a cigar. Now let's, before I take down the stairs, make a save game. Yeah, a very nasty thing about Eye of the Beholder is that you can only make one save game. I am actually playing the game now from DOSBox. I'm not using ScanVM, which I know to support this game. Several reasons. Their support for Lands of Lords was bogus, and they never took the complaints seriously. And also, as far as I know, Eye of the Beholder 3 is still not supported. Only the first two Eye of the Beholders. And of course, I want to transfer my party from 1 to 2, but also from 2 to 3. And I really don't know if that is gonna work. Well, I am now on the 3rd floor. Every floor has its own unique enemies. Mostly 2. Very few cases 3. But the third ones mostly serve as special scenario kind of enemies. I really need to look up what the name of this amphibia is. It is in the manual. And I've always forget that name. It is basically just throwing lightning bolts at me. If I remember correctly, in the Amiga version, it actually burps. Let's cast a spell. Yeah, there was a second one over there, huh? I already suspected as much. Oh. Hello. You see that the number of magic missiles I have at my disposal will decrease every month I use it. But of course, when I take a rest, Merlin will memorize them all again, so then all trouble is gone. You also see Pleta using healing spells. That makes resting significantly shorter. Now, it is possible to regain your HP during resting without a clerk, using healing spells in order to speed up the rest, but that will take loads of time, and then I really mean loads of time. In my video of Out the Beholder 2, there's a point where I will demonstrate how long that can take. But suffice me to say that it's always a very good moment to make yourself a cup of coffee while resting without a clerk. Not only that, but your food meter will also go down terribly quickly. So this pit is a very quick way to the next level. However, there is still something in this very level that I want to have very desperately. This hole looks like the inside of a jewel box. Yeah, there is a kind of jewel that functions as a key, and putting it in will open the door. Oh, that's... Yeah, a lot of enemies will only attack you when you actually attack them. One step further and the door will close and they will all attack at once. But since I can already attack most of them here, it's not really that much of a working trap, is it? Well, these beasts are called flames, according to the manual. Nice to know, isn't it? Okay, now I got the shit hitting the fan. Oh, only 2. Is that all? Now, shields can be carried in one of the 2 hands, and then you will see that the armor class goes down. What is very important to note, you want your armor class to be as low as possible. The lower the number, the better it works. That may not be the case in later editions of Dungeons & Dragons, but in the 2nd edition it works that way. That has to do a bit with a system that you do not see in these stats, called, we always call that THAC0, THAC0, in which we pronounce the 0 as an O. THAC0 means to hit armor class 0. And it is basically calculated on your classes, strength, and your level also plays a bit of a part. Every time you attack, you roll a d20. And this is not the official calculation method that I'm explaining now, but it is the most easiest to remember. If you count the armor class of the enemy you are attacking to your roll, then you actually have a hit when you are hitting higher than your taco. So taco is also a stat that you want to be as low as possible. So if I have a taco 19 and the enemy has armor class 4, then when I will 17 plus 4 is 21, is higher than my taco, and then I'm higher, and then I basically hit. When I hit any lower, then I would miss. That is the general idea. Well, let's see. A nice rock. What's this? Flame laser. It's junk. What's this? Oh, that's that flame blade. Let's see. This is likely the way to go. And here is a nice secret passage. And this secret passage will, if I'm correct, guide me to a mage scroll containing the spell Fireball, which is a pretty powerful spell for your mages. This is not yet the place I want to be. And where did I end up now? Okay. Yes, this is the place where I want to be. Yeah, there's an enemy behind me. You heard him. But let's first scribe that Fireball scroll, and then it's at least in my spell book. Hey. Can't you see I'm busy? Well, this was one of those jewel box locks. Well, let's first have a little break. Rats. Yeah. What was that? City of Waterdeep Rapid Access Transport System. Well, it gives me the idea that's just a backwards acronym. Yeah, now I want to be here. Yeah, I have a gem. And here I have 2 eyes. That was easy, of course. There is a little trick here, and I will leave that food package behind as a kind of a marker. As there are some... Here, now it's gone. It's not that my food package has gone. It's just that I was teleported to a different place. still in the same room, so that's okay. And that's all of them. Should be 4. Was that really 4? I thought I was on 3. I must have miscalculated. And a chainmail should be better than this leather armor I have now, right? Yeah, the leather armor 4, chainmail 1. And remember, you want your armor class to be as low as possible. Let's see. Oh, that's iron reactions. Yum, 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 I hope. Now, if I take the correct stairway down, I believe it's this one, then I should already meet my first NPC of the game. Non-player characters. Those are characters you can't generate yourself. You will just meet them in the game and ask you if they may join you in your quest. An injured dwarf lies on the ground before you, nearly unconscious from his wounds. Having regained his strength, the dwarf thanks you. I thought that I had met my death at the blade of that drow. In battle, our king was grievously wounded, and the young prince kidnapped. I tried to stop the drow, but alas, I was overcome. You have saved me from death. I wish there was some way to thank you, but I have nothing. I am alone, separated from my people during the battle. May I join you so that together we can search for my people? Well, of course. As Tagor joins your party, he says, during the battle, I chased my enemy up to a staircase to this level. My people should be on the level just below us. Well, now I have 5 characters, and that is important to note. As you know, you get experience for every kill you make or other special things you do, and with a certain number of experience you will go up a level. This is divided by 4, as I have 4 characters. Now that I have a 5th character, it's divided by 5. So that is a really great disadvantage. Now Tagor cannot do much from the back, as he is a melee fighter. His presence does offer me a lot of extra inventory space though, so that is basically a very great advantage. Ooh, a key. I like keys. Oh, that's the way back. Well, was that already a special quest? And what does it do? Do I get any reward? Never been in this section. I always thought that was a dead end. Now the main enemies here are giant spiders and they are poisonous. And unless you have been training around a lot, you may not yet have spells that can cure poison. Basically meaning you are doomed if you get one of your characters poisoned. Yeah, that's the one way I go. As soon as I pass through this door, it will close behind me. That is one of the points of no return. And now I don't remember what I was saying. I don't think it was important. Ah, there is the first spider. But yeah, I was saying when you are poisoned you are pretty much doomed unless you find potions that can cure poison. Basically, when I get myself poisoned, all that you will see of it is that the name will be written in red letters instead of black letters. This can, however, also mean that the character in question has been paralyzed. So you can never be sure. But when paralyzed you simply can't move. When poisoned your HP will just go down whenever the character feels the effects of poison. What you can have at this point is the slow poison spell. And I really recommend you to have as many of those as possible, as that will at least make you last out a little longer. Resting with poisoned characters is quite often a very bad thing to do. The game will even cast you a warning. Well, I really hate this section in the game. It has always been a lot of searching. Let's see. Yeah, that was clearly a ring of protection. My armor class went down. Rings of protection are most often green. Now, it's not always that a green ring will be a ring of protection, but quite often it is. Was that all? Well. The stone scepter. Its function is pretty similar to that of the stone dagger, and that is basically all I can say about that thing by now. And my front row is poisoned. Well, to let you into a little secret, I already took care of that when I took my preparations for this video. I know it's cheating a bit, but it will only cause me a lot of frustration while recording this video. And it's the game I want to show, not my personal frustration. What did I use to make it possible? A hex editor. Well, that was also the reason why those undead fellows were instantly killed. Normally they just turn around and run away from me. Well, of course, we are now in the Dwarven district. This also means that some messages can be in Dwarf language, and then you can only read or recognize them if you have a dwarf in your party. Hey, Tagar happens to be a dwarf. He may be an NPC, but it counts. I don't need an extra mace. Hey, I have been here before. Oh. Access control lever. Wrong lever! Oh, wait, I'm not Isma. Another dwarven key. Well, now you should always be a bit careful, as equipment can be cursed and then you can't take it off, and wearing them will then actually be in your disadvantage. Let's see. I need one more lever. But where is it? Yes, that one is already down. Where's the third? I always wonder about that one. I have found it several times. That's not the point. It's just that my memory is always fuzzy of this particular place. No, I'm not like Gandalf. I have no memory of this place. Ah, there it is. Of course, the Mines of Moria, where a dwarfish domain, ironically enough. Yeah. Yeah, I don't need this stairway down. That's just a way out, I think. Yes, that's closer for safety's sake. Or I would be condemned to do a large part over. I don't like that. No key. So I gotta look elsewhere. Well, enough places to go, I guess. Do I still have to go down? I don't want to. A dwarfish rune of safe passage. I can only recognize it because I have a dwarf in my party now. Otherwise, the game would say that the rune is unrecognized. Perhaps I do need to be here. This all looks a bit vaguely familiar. I don't have the keys. Please reset drain holes when finished. Yeah, this is the reset lever. Greed will be your downfall. Take the word downfall quite literally. Yeah, every place I've been to will turn into a sinkhole as soon as I leave it. Of course, the trick is to find the way without dropping into one. A plate mail. Let's see. Armor class 1. Armor class -1. Well, let's see. 1. Well, no more use for this. Mage scroll. Invisibility 10 radius. Then basically the entire party gets invisible. So let's scrap that one and add it to my spell book. And a ring. Another key. And this teleporter will get me out. Yay, I made it! And of course, that will reset the drain holes. And this stairway is just a way out should I fall through one of those drain holes. And then I would meet the Kenku, bird-like creatures, and who are not very friendly. Prayer. You cannot scribe clerk scrolls, by the way, only mage scrolls. And clerk scrolls can just help you to cast a certain spell just once. Mage scrolls can, by the way, also be used for that. Unless you scribe them, then they will disappear. A skill mail. Okay. And another dwarven key. Yeah, looking a bit around, perhaps I can find a secret passage. This is the game that I know the least about in the entire trilogy. The other two are a bit more familiar to me. You will notice that in my playing style and my commentary as soon as I get to those games. Well, which door to take? It's of course always a kind of guessing work. Yeah, I think I know where I am. I am Armun, spokesman of this clan. Of course, we have information on the location of the exits from these holes, but in our hour of need, I have no time to help you. However, if you would be willing to help us, our clan is descended from the dwarves who built these great holes. Here our ancestors lived in peace until hordes of evil creatures drove them out into the realms of men and elves. On the surface our numbers are dwindled. Finally, our leader, King Theogor, guarded our people and led us underground in search of our ancestral home. Using secret knowledge passed down through the royal family, we finally discovered these stone-carved holes. The holes were vast and we only explored a small portion before we had to make camp in an enclosed area decorated with a stone portal. But while the camp slept, the stone portal flared with magical light. From the light a horde of drow charged us. They were led by a female they called Shindia. We rose up and fought the dark ones, though we were exhausted by long weeks of travel. Both sides suffered many casualties, but in the end we forced them to retreat into the portal from which they came. The battle was costly. King Thiago was wounded by a poisoned dagger and now lies in an eternal sleep. Nothing our cleric can do will wake him. His own son, Prince Kigar, was captured by the invading drow. With no member of the royal family among us, we no longer have access to their secret. I think I skipped a part. We're exhausted long weeks of travel. Oh, wait, no, it's the same text. To their secret knowledge of the exits from these holes. Now we wait while our clerk heals our surviving warriors. Once prepared, we will try to rescue our prince and avenge the fall of Tiago. Our numbers are small, but we would rather fight to our death than abandon our prince to the drow. Unless, if your party were to rescue Prince Kigar from the drow and return him to us, he could give you information about the exits of these holes. You would have your information and we would have our prince. So, will you help us? Armun accepts your help with gratitude and he hands you a medallion made of stone. Take this. Shindia dropped it in the battle. It is the key to activate the portal through which she and her minions came. Our ancestors built the portals to transport them from one location to another quickly. When the portal doorway is touched with the right object, the portal is activated. We would have followed Shindia and her drow elves back through the portal, but we are not ready to confront them. The Ancient Ones also used powerful magic such as this to gain knowledge. Legend has it that there is an oracle of knowledge, and the key to its operation is the powerful black orb. By placing an orb into the oracle, its power is released. Our clerk can help you heal your wounds. Be careful not to tax him too heavily. He has been healing the wounds of our warriors and trying to revive the king from his poisoned sleep. One other thing, a young dwarven warrior would like to join you in on your quest to find the prince. Will you allow him to join you? Well, this is the stone medallion, a very important item. Basically, it has already been explained how it works. Now, these dwarves won't attack me as long as I don't attack them. This is the priest. He can resurrect Todd Uphill and other skeletons you find. However, he will need some hours of rest. And don't touch the microphone, kitty. I know you seek attention. And it's about feeding time. But the microphone won't like it very much when you touch it. Well, and now let's see the... Oh, poison. Let's see. Yes, this is the portal. Junk. Haste. That's a scroll I can scribe. Haste. Now in a regular game of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, you really need to be careful with using the spell Haste. As in official Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition rules, you can also die of old age, and Haste will increase the speed in which you can perform actions, but it will also make all who are touched by it 1 year older, which can of course eventually be your death because of old age. Well, this is the portal. When I hold the missing symbol in stone on it, which would in this case be the stone necklace, then the portal will open and get me into the next area. Yeah. And this is what I call the drow section of the game. What will I find here? Well, the first thing that you may want to do here is just put one of those stone key items into these niches, as that counts for a special quest. Basically, you just get a few scrolls containing hints. The orb leads to great evil. Now let's take this back, as I will need it later. The second scroll says, around the neck made of gold, the sign of dwarfs, you've been told. Whatever that's supposed to mean. The light of the stars sparkles in the gem. Follow one to see the other. Righto. Well, this wand, what does it do? No apparent magical effect. Okay. And of course here are lock. Tried to open it a few times, but I never had much success on that one. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have the stone ankh. This is the stone necklace that leads me back to the dwarves. And this is the stone dagger. And 3. Let's see where it leads to. I've never really been able to find out what those boots are good for. I've never seen any apparent effect from wearing boots. Hello, Displacer Beast. You will have to excuse me. I had a little break between escaping the dwarf section and entering the drow section, and in the meantime I've been ill. You may not have immediately noticed as I glued the videos nicely together, but it will lead to me coughing a few times. Yeah, for this I just need to sacrifice a random item, and then this switch works. No item, no opening. This door is a one-way door. You can't open it from the other side. But once open, you can just pass through it. Well, yeah, this is a rust beast if I am correct. I really need to recheck the manual. Their biggest problem is that they can destroy my entire inventory. One item at a time. And now we will get into the dungeon section. And these mantises are very nasty. As you can see, they can paralyze me with every blow they make. Let's see. Ah yes, I can do 2 fireballs already. I may need them. Yeah. Stow your weapons. Basically on all these pressure plates I must drop a random weapon. It doesn't really matter if it's a sword or an axe or just a dagger, as long as it qualifies as a weapon. Let's see. There are multiple axes. And that will open the door. One eye is paralyzed. Well, be prepared to get the is paralyzed message a lot here. Hive, yeah. Let's see. Oh, now Edric is paralyzed. At least these Mentenses are not able to open doors. And let's be glad about that one. Well, let's see. Yeah, this is really not interesting. This may be the interesting way to go, if I ain't mistaken. Now, mostly after you rest, paralysis will be gone. I did see another Mantis. Yes, there he is. Too bad there is no female. She would take care of him. Yeah, the spell selector is pretty bad in IT Builder 1. It is a lot better in IT Builder 2. But I guess it's for the creators of this game also a bit of a learning curve. IT Beholder was, as far as I know, one of the first dungeon crawlers of its kind. Yeah, and then there's a door open here, and then once again, and poof. Then we have a sinkhole here. And a potion of giant strength. Jump. Well, he goes. Now, only Edric didn't get hurt. That will likely mean that he was wearing a ring of feather falling. Now, basically, leave no stone unturned. There are buttons on the wall, and I must just make sure the buttons are aligned, and then I can create a path. And then the buttons will move. Yeah, it sounds a bit complicated, but it is not as complicated as it sounds. So this is the center. Well, with a stone ank I can get out of here, and then I will get back in the main hall where I saw the other portal where the stone ank was missing. And yes, I can find the stone ankh on this very level. Now I need to find 3 things here. 2 drow keys and a stone orb. The enemies here are Zorns and Mind Flayers, and this happens to be a Mind Flayer, known as one of the most dangerous enemies around due to their psychic mind blasts. Yeah, this isn't really. Yeah, no buttons, or at least I didn't see them. Swat. Yeah, this is one of the places where I wanted to be. Here is a secret button. And this is a Zorn. Yeah, spells have mostly no effect on that. So, and behind this door is one of the keys, but also a Mind Flayer. Okay, that he gave in easily. So that's one of the keys. Then I do still want to move a bit further. As behind this door we can find Kyrat, although he is dead, but I can resurrect him at the Dwarf Priest. Although he is a very powerful mage, I won't resurrect him. I'm sorry about that, but that's only taking the long way around. Okay. That's not really... And that's the stone ankh. An extra spellbook. Of course, when you resurrect Kyrat, you will need it. Those bracers, well, now I have armor class 3. Now I have 1 ring. Well, the human bones is Kyrat. The Frika is one of the strongest daggers around. And then this rope. And let's see what that does. Armor class 1. Armor class -1. And I told you before, you want your armor class to be as low as possible, preferably in the negative numbers. Well, let's move on, shall we? And, well, here we can only find a Mind Flayer. Extra experience points, I guess. Loads of misses. He was pretty agile. Well, who cares? He's dead. Let's see, was there something behind this particular door? And another mind flayer. Yes, another mind flayer. Oh, Merlin, my mage has gone level up. Can I do a bit more? Nah. Well, another fireball, I guess. But now that I'm past those mantises, I don't think I will need that anymore. Well, fuck that. Oh, half my party paralyzed and Dorum has gained a level. Well, I guess I'm done here, so let's explore another corridor. Yes, here I'm back at the center. Well, let's see what we can find here. Okay, yeah, I got one of the Drow keys already, but that won't do me much good right now. Well, at least. Perhaps I can leave myself a marker here. That will make things easier later. Open sesame. Let's see. Ah, another door. Abandoned mail. Let's see. Armor class -1. -3. Hey, that's always better. Yes. -1. Armor class 2. Armor class 1. Armor class 4. Armor class 5. 3. 4. And I see that Tagor is nearly starving. Well, let's create some food. Ta-da, problem solved. And the slasher, a +4 longsword. And that's a really nice weapon to treasure for your fighters or paladins or whatever you have on front. Hurrying. No clue what it does. Well, it doesn't really matter. It's always a bit of finding out what stuff does, of course. There are spells that can help you to identify items, so you have more clue of what they'll do. That rhymes. Unfortunately, I have none of those yet. When I transfer this party to Eye of the Beholder 2, then I will get all items automatically identified. However, names of weapons like this slasher will vanish, and it will just be longsword +4. That basically that will do, of course. Ah, Zorn. And Tagor has gained a level of experience. For what good that will do. Well, there was of course another, but I just closed the door in order to rest. Well, that will do. Let's see. A scroll of race dead. One of those items you'll hope you'll never need, but hey. It's... Okay, the Hall of the Levers. This dwarven healing potion can be used to heal the king, in case you would ever plan to go back there. The levers themselves I've never really troubled to puzzle out. Simply because I don't need to solve that puzzle to get any further. Let's see. Yeah, lots of zones here, but they can't enter this spot. So basically if I do this, only the one that is now in front of me can attack me and the others cannot. Which is actually quite an advantage. And I can just move out and... yeah. Well, alright. Game saved. And next. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna kill you, Mr. Thorn. Another Zorn down the drain. Another Zorn bites the dust. Oh, he blocks the way, huh? Yeah, there is another Zorn, but it's not likely he will attack me while I'm resting. Well, that's... oh, one eye is unconscious. But on the bright side, she ain't dead. Yeah. And now she gained a level of experience even. Well, that will do. Room of the key. Yeah, there's a secret passage somewhere here. Let's see. There it is. And that leads me to another draw key and the stone orb. And those were the 3 items I needed. So I can leave this section. Yeah, I will need to open this one and then I can just go back and open this one. Alright, and that will get me to the first closed door. Okay. Yes, that's, and here we have the door I was looking for. Now, when I open this door, a mind flayer will immediately come out. That's terrible, especially with a Zorn. Okay, well, that Zorn can kiss my ass. I'm out of here. And now we will come into a very strange looking section. It's all about ice. This is the final level already. And like I said, I have the impression that I skipped a large portion of the game. Excuse me. Turn back. No trespassing. You were warned. Well, behind this door are golems. Completely immune to magic and pretty strong. Yes, one of them has a key. Now, due to skipping such large portions of the game, you may have missed the name Xanatar. That is the final boss of the game, and you can find Xanatar here on this very level. And Xanatar is a beholder. Yes, so that is my foe. Beholders are known to be among the most dangerous creatures in the Dungeons and Dragons series. Unlike many other monsters in Dungeons and Dragons, the Beholder is not based on folklore. It is actually created for the franchise. If you looked well, you may have seen the room changed. Now, it may seem that because such a dangerous foe is the final boss, that the final boss may be very extremely hard. Actually, the opposite is true. There is a little A little glitch to that. Not really a programming error, but you will see soon enough. So, despite my traps, you petty hirelings of the Lords of Waterdeep managed to make it here after all. How unfortunate for you. How sad for me as well. I enjoyed immensely watching you fight my minions and stumble through my traps. Of course, I'm responsible for creating the traps, just as I am responsible for creating the plan that will bring all of Waterdeep under my absolute control. You, of course, cannot be allowed to interfere with my brilliant plan. Surrender to me now, and I will grant you mercy. Well, he won't grant mercy, and if I surrender, I will just put down my weapons, so I will just go for attack. Well, the first thing you want to do is step backwards. I don't know if I'm hurt by that spell. And not only is Xanatar unable to open this door, he's actually completely unable to reach it. Well, you will see him just going around like this, so just time, moving forward right, give him a few. And even his spells cannot penetrate that invisible barrier for some strange reason. Okay, that was not the... Of course, Xanatar can use spells like Death Spell, which can, with the when luck is completely against me, kill the party as a whole immediately. And he can also use disintegration spells, and that will also instantly kill, like he does now. Not really that much of a problem. It's the final boss after all, and the one he disintegrated was not the one I was reliant on. All debts will be undone when I transfer to Eye of the Beholder 2. Yeah, and I now finished the game. You will only get this text in the DOS version. In the Amiga version, you'll actually get a kind of a sequence. The reason they cut that sequence from the DOS game was simply because it would have required an extra disc, and that was really an issue back at the time. Well, let's read it aloud. As the party picks through the remains of Xanatar's shattered body, a teleporter triggers about them. As Xanatar's lair fades from view, everyone prepares for battle and thinks, what now? A stately marbled room fades around the party. Two stone columns flank a large throne. Sunlight streams in through the windows. Clean air blows in from an open door. This is Pirgeron's public hall. At last, the party is free from the dungeons under Waterdeep. You have killed Xanatar and survived and saved Waterdeep from his evil, Pirgeron Paladinson exclaims. We were wise to pick such talented and resourceful adventurers as our agents. For today, let thee be proclaimed the heroes of Waterdeep, and let all know of your brave deeds. Congratulations on your successful quest. And I will thank you now for watching this video, as the game will immediately throw me out to the underlying system. In this case, my GBM menu, not very interesting. I will see you back next week, same time, same channel, and then I will go for the second game of the Eye of the Beholder series, The Legend of Darkmoon. So, goodbye, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, and tot ziens.